Thanks for joining us today, Steve. Did you want to tell us a bit about your background and how you came to be where you are and what you're doing now?
Yeah, sure, Olga. I've been in the banking and finance industry for about 30 years now, so predominantly looking after third-party channels, so managing third-party distribution networks for banks. So I've been dealing with finance brokers for a large proportion of my career, and sort of that's where it led to asset-based lending. We just saw a massive opportunity doing something that no one else is doing in the marketplace. Asset-based lending isn't a business that tries to be anything it's not. To be totally honest, it's actually like cash converters on steroids for business. So if you get that around your head in terms of understanding our model, that is exactly what we do. We don't deal with individuals, we only deal with businesses, but it's a solution for some organisations that are going through current challenges in their business.
I think what we're all seeing at the moment with economy is cash flow is difficult. Times are difficult for businesses, and what I'm very keen to talk about is solutions. We often hear the term that someone's asset rich and cash poor, and what can they do if they need cash. So I think it's quite exciting what you've been telling me about.
Yeah, you just stole my line. Asset rich, cash poor.
I know, because I listened to you.
Yeah, pretty much the fundamentals of exactly what the business is all about. So, I've had a banking background and worked with many brokers over the years, and decided to get into private lending using property as security. And during that process, and we still do that, but during that process, a lot of people weren't willing to put property up as security to be able to get short-term private money. And a lot of clients at that time were asking me, would we take any other assets as security instead of the family home or a commercial property or whatever the case may be. And I sort of got to thinking around, how do we release cash? How do we allow businesses to immediately impact the cash flow challenges that they have, no matter what the circumstances are around that? And make no mistake, a lot of people that are borrowing money from asset-based lending are in distress or are in need of a cash release in a hurry. And as you said, people that have assets and they're asset rich but cash poor, asset-based lending is a solution. People that talk about all of their cash is tied up in their assets, again, asset-based lending is a solution. So what we do differently to everyone else, and when businesses are in distress, their financials don't always look the greatest. They're not willing to enter into directors' guarantees and the like. And their monthly repayments that they have to normally pay the lender are always going to be a challenge because they're in a degree of distress and they need to resolve issues very, very quickly. So thinking about all of that, we tried to come up with a model where we could secure ourselves as funders, but also allow the ability for companies to be able to release cash using assets that they own. Now, we're a very small piece in the jigsaw puzzle. We provide a solution that is not a long-term solution. We'll only lend money for a 3 to 6 month period. But what we do differently to everyone else is we actually allow the asset that the company owns or the guarantor, maybe the director's wife, family, may be able to utilise. And what we do is we hold that security during the course of the life of the loan. And so that avoids the need to provide financials, ask for director's guarantees and monthly repayments, credit checks and all of those sorts of things. So this is, again, a short-term solution to help businesses through those short-term challenges. And hopefully the broker or you, with what you do at Tax Assure, assist with resolving whatever the issue is that causes the challenge that company happens to be going through at any given time. And we're seeing all sorts of assets being utilised, everything from artwork to pink diamonds, which we talked about the other day.
That's my favourite. The pink diamonds are my favourite.
Lamborghinis. We did a hovercraft the other day. God knows what people have got hovercrafts sitting in their backyard. But so we'll lend against any asset that is, as long as it's unencumbered, and we can register a PPSR over that asset to ensure that in the event that the money is not repaid to us, we sell it through auction. And our business partners, Lloyd's, do all of the valuations for us, and we'll lend 70% of the valuation of any asset. And in the event that the monies are not paid back, the asset is auctioned, and we get our principal and interest back, and whatever's left over goes back to the client.
A number of solutions with tax debts, especially that come up, is liquidation. And people feel lost and hopeless, and that there are no solutions other than just liquidating a business or going bankrupt. And one of the big things we talk about is breathing space. So if we can get people into a payment plan that they can afford, it gives them breathing space to get their business back on track. If we can get rid of the interest, again, it gives breathing space. It sounds like it's a similar sort of solution that can buy people some breathing space that they didn't even know existed.
Yeah, we believe this is a solution that sort of gives people that bridging sort of opportunity to be able to get them from one point to another. An organisation that we helped out the other day obviously didn't go and get some advice from Tax Assure, but the ATO had actually decided to wind that company up. And as you know, companies that are on the wind-up list have got 21 days to resolve whatever issue they've got. So they should have gone and got advice from Tax Assure earlier, and they might not have been in this position. But anyway, day 19 of 21 days, where they're a company that employed 40 people was about to go into liquidation, they came to us and asked us whether or not we'd be able to provide a solution. And a lot of private lenders will come out and talk to you about, we can turn them around in 24, 48 hours, but I think we're one of the only ones that actually can, because we're not asking for financials. All we really need is to get an understanding of the value of the asset. Once we can determine that, we calculate 70% of what that asset's worth, and then that's what we're willing to lend. So,
and how quick was that money provided?
Oh, it was literally next day. So there was 2 trucks that they were using as security. We did an initial desktop valuation of those trucks. The client needed $90,000 to resolve the issue with the ATO. They were able to provide those trucks at one of the Lloyd's yards. This one happened to be in Sydney. We did the verification of those assets to make sure that the assets were of the value that we originally did the desktop in. Once that was done, we registered the PPSR, and the cash was dispersed within 30 minutes of that happening. So they were able to resolve that issue with the ATO. They were taken off the wind-up list, and ultimately the business lived to fight another day. Now, unfortunately, a lot of clients don't always start to look at the situation that got them into that place in the first place. So what we do is try and encourage them to talk to someone like Tax Assure, someone in the finance world who can restructure their debt, and really think about the fundamentals of their business around what happened that caused that problem, and how do you take rectification to ensure that doesn't happen again. That was a nice one a nice little win for us to get, saving 40 jobs, but it'll be what happens in the next 3 to 6 months that'll determine whether or not that business is an ongoing viable proposition.
And I think the biggest message as well, as we sit here and chat about these things, is that both of us, we can be contacted immediately, and we are both very open and in our businesses for people to just give us a call, have a chat. If we can help, we will. If we can't, we might even know someone else that can help. But it is about eating that frog, reaching out, finding the solution, talking to people, doing your research, not just accepting, I suppose, it's all doom and gloom, because I really, really want people to know it's difficult at the moment, but it's not all doom and gloom. There are solutions, and to keep digging until they find the right ones.
Absolutely.